Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to chat to you guys about why I don't have a luxury wish list for 2023. Every year that I have been on YouTube, I've always done a wish list video for the year. So this year, just like all the other years, I sat down to plan my videos and started writing out my wish list for this year. And I realized I only have a couple of items from last year's wish list that I haven't been able to tick off just yet, but I realized I didn't have anything else that was specific that I really wanted to add to my collection this year. And I've never really had a year like this. I've always had specific items that I wanted. So I started thinking maybe I should go with the flow and not have a specific wish list and try something new. So before I start with the reasons why I am ditching a luxury wish list for this year, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this subject. Do you have a wish list this year, or are you more like me where you are just gonna go with the flow and you don't really have a specific wish list? Do let me know in the comments below. So just quickly, the only item that is still remaining on my wish list from the last couple of years is an Hermes Birkin in the size 25 in the neutral color that makes my heart sing. I was initially set on the color gold with gold hardware, but I am also open to other neutrals like Etoupe, Etan, but not black. I don't really want black because I do already have a Birkin 30 in the black with palladium hardware, which I think is a perfect, more casual, larger bag. So in my size 25, I definitely want a colored neutral. Anyway, that bag is still on my wish list because with Hermes, you can never predict when you're gonna get these bags. You just need to wait patiently for your turn. So I would have loved to tick that one off my wish list last year, but it didn't happen. So it still remains on my wish list for this year. But other than that, I really couldn't think of anything else that I really particularly want to add. And I wanted to take this new approach this year where I want to try out this more intuitive, mindful shopping where I am not obsessing over a list and ticking off the items of it. I remember a video by my good friend Kat L here on YouTube. I think this was a couple of years ago where she actually did a video on why she didn't have a wish list, and something stuck with me from that video. She said sometimes when we have a list of items on our wish list, we end up becoming a little OCD and we end up cornering ourselves into thinking we have to tick these items off, kind of like crossing off items from your to-do list. And oftentimes as months go by throughout your year, you may not even be totally in love with that item, but because it is on your wish list, you end up getting it, and that really resonated with me. I think I have definitely done that before. So this year I basically don't want to obsess over a list but have this new fresh approach. It is not to say that I am not going to buy anything this year. It is definitely not going to be a no buy year, but I want to see if having no wish list leads to a low buy year, because who knows, if I don't have anything on my wish list, maybe I won't really end up buying as many things. But if you guys are here watching my video, I am sure you are a lot like me and we enjoy the same things. So given that we do enjoy luxury things, I am sure I will end up buying a few things throughout this year as well, even without a list. But I just want to have a few loose rules around my purchases this year and see where that takes me. So I'm going to share with you my few rules that I'm going to follow, and also the reasons why I think I'm going to be okay even if I end up having a low buy year. So the couple of rules that I'm going to have: first is I have to still shop within my budget. Even though I'm going to be trying out this more intuitive shopping where if I end up loving something in the moment, I am going to consider it and possibly buy it. It has to be coming out from my fun account, where basically I put a portion of my income into, that is my play money that I can splurge on things with. So I put a portion of my income into it, as well as whenever I sell a luxury item, then I'll put some of that money back into that account as well. So I always have a pool of fun money that I can buy these luxury items with. So anything that I end up wanting to buy still has to be affordable within that pool of money, and I'm not going to allow myself to dip into my other savings or my other accounts. So even if an item comes along that I am totally obsessed with, if I don't have enough money for that item in my fun account, I am just not going to do it. If you want to know more about how I budget and how I afford luxury items, I did a whole video about it. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description section below if you wanted to check that out. The second rule is the item has to fit right into my current lifestyle. So I should be able to see myself using it straight away without waiting, and not for my future lifestyle. I used to buy classic items that may not necessarily perfectly fit into my current lifestyle or my current style or aesthetics, with the vague expectation that since it is a classic item, I am going to use it when I'm older or whenever my style evolves. And a good example of this is a Chanel classic flap in the medium size. That bag is such a classic bag, and I do have one beige one in my collection which I still adore, but I remember when I purchased it, it wasn't because I could see myself immediately carrying it. It was more because I thought it is such a classic and it will last me a lifetime. Even though I can't see myself using it a lot right now, I'm going to use it when my style is a little more mature, something along those lines. And the other big factor was these bags only got up in price. So of course, by the time I want to wear it, if I ended up purchasing at that point in time, it is going to cost a lot more. For example, the Chanel Classic Flap at the time only cost $6,000, but if I wanted to buy it 10 years after that, I would have had to pay double for that. So that was the other big driver behind my decisions to collect these classic items, even though I couldn't see myself using them straight away. But my thinking has completely shifted now. Even if it's a classic item that I may end up using in the future, I'd much rather just get it then, even if it costs a lot more in say 5-10 years time. At least if I still like that item and at that point in time I can really see myself using it, then I'm not wasting the item by leaving it on the shelves. I will be using it straight away, as opposed to if I just bought it now and never end up using it. Then even if I bought it at a lower price, I'll be wasting that money because we just don't know what the future holds. We don't know whether we're still gonna like it. And we don't even know what's around the corner. I know it's a bit morbid, but we don't even know what's going to happen to us tomorrow. So I decided to stop doing that, and whatever item that I buy today has to work with me, with my today's lifestyle. So these are the couple of rules that I will be following if anything were to interest me this year. And if nothing really comes up and interests me, I am completely okay with that as well. And I feel there's probably a few good reasons why I feel like this and I don't have a wish list this year, as opposed to always wanting something in the previous years. I think one obvious thing is I am in a very lucky position where I have acquired a lot of my holy grail items in the last few years. So even if I only have the items that I have in my collection right now, I am very, very content with it. Of course, there's always going to be new releases and new items that catch our attention, but you know, if these new release items never catch my attention, then I'm completely okay with that. And most of the times, whenever these designer brands come up with their new releases, most of the times I don't even like them. For example, Louis Vuitton constantly comes out with new collections and new items, and I rarely love anything new that they come up with. So I don't believe in purse piece as such, but I do believe in temporary purse piece. So right now I think I'm pretty happy with where things are at in my collection. Oh, by the way, I do have to admit, I do have to make a confession. I did end up exchanging my Dior book tote to something else. And that ties in with the last point that I mentioned before, where I only want to purchase things that I can see myself using straight away. Anyway, I'll get into the reasons why in an upcoming video. I'll do a whole exchange story time and what I ended up getting instead. So you'll see a new bag soon. But anyway, overall, I am generally pretty happy with where my collection is at for my current lifestyle. Also, I do have some other plans and priorities this year, which may take up a big chunk of my time as well as a big chunk of my resources. So I am definitely trying to put more money towards some other goals as well this year. And I'm hoping this whole having no wish list really works out and not too many temptations come my way. And the third thing is the luxury prices have become so insane in the last couple of years that even if I wanted to, I will have a really hard time justifying a lot of the purchases that I would have otherwise made a few years back. So the threshold as to how much I have to love an item has gone way up. So I can't just like something for me to want to fork out that much money. I would now have to really, really, really be obsessed with it to want to buy it. So I'm hoping that means less qualifying purchases, which means less purchases. For example, there was a time that I really wanted to add another Chanel Classic Flap in another beautiful color, and that was actually on my luxury wish list a couple of years ago, even when the prices started becoming really crazy. But since then, I completely scrapped that idea. I don't think I want to add another Chanel Classic Black. I mean, never say never. One day I may just, you know, lose my mind and do it. But if I come across a color combination that I just absolutely love, that's just an example where even though there are still items that I really like, the prices have turned me off quite a bit. But we'll see how this goes. I'll let you guys hold me accountable. We're all humans. If I end up shopping more than ever, you guys have the right to call me out and say, I thought you didn't even have a wish list. I may do a little check-in in the middle of the year and see how we are all going. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me blabbing on about this. I'm sure I went on a lot of tangents in this video. I hope you still enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending some of your precious time with me today. And I can't wait to see you soon in my next video. Bye guys.